Everyone told you the restaurant business is risky. They were lying to you. Not because it isn't risky, it is, but because risky implies the outcome is uncertain. It isn't. The restaurant business is one of the only industries on earth where the math is designed from the very beginning to make sure you don't keep the money. The risk isn't that you might fail. The risk is that you'll work yourself into the ground for years and still end up with nothing to show for it. And the worst part? Everyone around you knew this before you signed the lease. Let's start with a number that should make you physically uncomfortable. 38%. In 2023, 38% of all U.S. restaurants reported generating zero profit. Not a loss, not a bad year, zero. They opened their doors every single day, fed thousands of people, ran their staff ragged, and at the end of 12 months, they kept nothing. Now here's the number that's even more insulting. The ones that did make money? After food costs, labor, rent, utilities, insurance, and the 100 other things quietly bleeding the P&L, the average restaurant keeps between 2 and 6 cents from every dollar a customer spends. 2 cents on a good day. You can run a full dining room on a Saturday night. Every table turned twice, bar packed, kitchen firing perfectly, and still be one broken refrigerator compressor away from a month that wipes out your entire quarter. This is not bad luck. This is the structure. Here's how the money actually disappears. Take a restaurant doing $1 million a year in revenue. That sounds like a real business. Here's what happens to it. Food and beverage costs, the raw ingredients before a single person is paid, consume 32% on average. That's $320,000 gone before you've done anything except buy the product you're selling. Labor takes another 36.5%. That's not a pessimistic number. That's the 2024 median from the National Restaurant Association's own data. $365,000 for a staff that, statistically, 73% of will quit and need to be replaced within the next 12 months. Rent. In a location with enough foot traffic to actually survive, you're paying 8 to 10% of revenue. $90,000 a year. $7,500 a month. For 4 walls and a kitchen that you fitted out with $300,000 of your own money, equipment and infrastructure that is now legally attached to a building you don't own. Overhead, utilities, insurance, credit card processing fees, maintenance, the POS system that charges you a percentage of every transaction, another 10%. $100,000. That's $875,000 in costs against $1 million in revenue. $125,000 left. Before taxes, before the unexpected, before reality. And reality always shows up. One refrigerator compressor fails. $8,000 minimum, and it always fails on a Friday before a holiday weekend. One senior chef quits. $15,000 in recruiting and training costs, plus 2 months of inconsistent food while the replacement finds their feet. One slow January. Revenue drops 30%, but rent doesn't. Rent is rent. Rent doesn't care about January. That $125,000 doesn't survive contact with the actual year. Which is why, in 2024, 42% of U.S. restaurants weren't profitable at all. Nearly half the industry, working every day, keeping nothing. Now let's talk about the thing that's quietly killing more restaurants than bad food ever did. Labor. The restaurant industry runs on people. That's not a philosophical statement. It's an operational constraint. You cannot cook without cooks. You cannot serve without servers. You cannot manage without managers. The core product is inseparable from human labor in a way that almost no other industry has to deal with. And those humans leave. Constantly. The restaurant industry has a 73% annual staff turnover rate. That means for every 10 people you hire in January, 7 of them are gone by December. Not fired, gone. Off to a better offer, a less brutal schedule, a kitchen that doesn't scream. Every time someone leaves, it costs you $5,864 on average. Not in wages, in recruiting time, onboarding, the weeks of reduced efficiency while the new person learns the menu, the mistakes they make while learning, the extra hours the remaining staff absorb while you're understaffed. Run a 20-person team at 73% turnover. You're replacing 14 people a year. That's $82,000 just in the cost of people leaving, before you've paid anyone a single hour of work. And this is before the structural squeeze from outside. Minimum wages across the U.S. have risen sharply since 2019. For a $1 million restaurant, labor costs have increased 2 to 3 percentage points since pre-pandemic. That's $20,000 to $30,000 in margin that simply no longer exists. It didn't go anywhere interesting. It didn't fund growth. It evaporated. Here's the part of this story that nobody tells you. Because the people who benefit from it would rather you not think about it. Restaurants make landlords rich.